Monique, you're looking at this. You watched this, and we've seen Fani Willis all along. What are your initial thoughts on what happened in that courtroom today? Any thoughts in particular on how Fani Willis handled herself on the stand?
Well, first of all, hey, Bison, hey.
Yes, indeed. H-U, you know. That's right. We got to back up Fani on that as well. No question. Hustle, no question. Every day I'm hustling. If you know, you know what we talking about right now.
Hey, Bison.
No question.
You know, she had me already, but when she said her former friend Robin did not go to Howard, I was done. That said everything I needed. Listen, Dr. Greg.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't say this isn't personally triggering for me. As a woman, as a black woman, as a black woman lawyer, as a black woman lawyer who has been in high-profile cases, as a black woman lawyer who's been in high-profile cases and been attacked by the opposing side based on issues that had nothing to do with the facts of the case, with nothing to do with the evidence, nothing to do with me doing my job, but my past, my man, my whatever.
Right.
This is the playbook. Right? And so on the one hand, I was incensed, I was enraged, but on the other hand, I was very thankful and very proud. I believe that Special Prosecutor Wade was a quintessential perfect witness. I couldn't have coached, trained, prepared a cooler witness under hotter fire. Here is a man who self-professes and who all the investigators who have been trying to find dirt on him profess is a very private person for years and years and years and years, such that we heard things from the witness stand we've never heard before because the investigators couldn't find it, right? But here's a black man under attack.
Yes.
Who has to talk about his career and being targeted there, has to talk about his money, how much he made, how much he didn't make, has to talk about his ex-wife, has to talk about his kids, has to talk about his cancer diagnosis, has to talk about the new woman in his life who's now the other former woman in his life. All these things, black men don't like none of that.
No question.
He does grace. He does it smiling sometimes. I was talking back and forth with other lawyers who were like, we could have done without that smile. I'm like, listen, he's doing the best he can. And he kept calm, cool as a cucumber, deliberate, answered every question. I thought he came out smashingly, so much so that before he got on the stand, the motion should have been granted for him to not get on the stand. After he left the stand, the state's motion should have been granted for DA Fani Willis to not come on the stand, but she interrupted her side winning in order to testify. And I was going back and forth with my law school coach and mentor, Dr. Sharon Anderson. I was going back and forth with Charles Coleman. I was going back and forth with all these people, and I could have just fell out and died. She's the worst client ever, right? Because you're winning.
Counselor, please walk us through that if you don't mind, Monique. What was the strategy? Why did she do that?
Listen, and it's all the reasons I just said, right? Because even though I believe, would have won that argument and the judge was on her side, she knew, like I know, like all these other women who were on this panel, love y'all sisters, hello sisters, like we all know, it's not finished. It would never be finished without her testifying. It would never be settled. It would be that she won on a technicality. It would be that there wasn't enough evidence. It would be that she hid behind her lawyers. It would be all the crap that we go through even when we're right. And so she came in and she said, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm ready. I'm laid. My edge is laid. For everybody talking about how she looked. Yep, she was real cute, but Trump's lawyer was not cute, as she pointed out. And she said, let's do this. And when she went on the stand, we were worried because she came in hot. She was obviously upset. But see, Dr. Greg, we don't give people other than white men the permission to be upset in business. The permission when they're called liars, when they're called whores, when they're accused of, as she was in this particular hearing, giving a man a re-up on a contract because he took her on a cruise and a trip to Aruba.
Lord have mercy.
That's what we do. We put our entire careers on the line.
Absolutely.
To give a man another chance when his name isn't even husband because he took us on a cruise with his mama? No, I don't think so. Let me help everybody who doesn't understand how hard it is for a black woman to get in that job or any job of high acclaim. We know what it took for us to get there. We don't risk that for mom and them, daddy and them, brother and them, bae and them, not even husband and them. That man was given that job. He was selected by her because he was qualified. He was selected because she could trust him. He was selected because he could do the job. And he proved on the stand that he could do the job. I would hire him. And I don't say that about, let me tell you, I don't say that about hardly nobody. In this legal profession, he could be my lawyer, but I say all that to say, even though it was my worst nightmare, her being on the stand, thinking about it as a lawyer who would put a client on the stand, she did for herself what nobody could do for her. She didn't have to look at notes. She wasn't looking up in the corner. She wasn't saying, I don't recall.
No.
She wasn't saying, I need to pause and think about it. The only breaks that were asked for were by the judge, by the other lawyers. They were objecting, the opposing side, to the testimony that they begged for her to give.
How about
she
that?
Came ready and she proved her case. And I think she did a service to her profession, to womanhood, and to democracy. Because, by the way, she's in this position because she's trying to put a criminal in prison and his cohorts for committing crimes against democracy and trying to steal an election.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry.